Safa saphela isizwe simnyama iwasafa
isizwe saba
yavula mola ayinkokhelize wemaye wemolo Safa saphela isizwe simnyama iwasafa
isizwe saba
yavula mola ayinkokhelize wemaye ngiyakhala Safa saphela isizwe simnyama iwasafa
isizwe saba
awabula ayinkokhelize wemaye wemolo
Mangwelekwa dimu amadolo pefu Mangwelekwa dimu amadolo pefu Mangwelekwa dimu amadolo Abasibe tu baze wati Abasibe tu baze Shayani sloki kuti baze Shayani sloki Ziba kulule
In 1953, the apartheid government enacted the Bantu Education Act, which established a black education department in the Department of Native Affairs. Black people were to receive education designed to provide them with skills to serve their own people in the homelands or to work in laboring jobs under whites. In 1975, South Africa entered a period of economic depression. Schools were starved of funds. The government spent 644 Rand a year on a white child's education, but only 42 Rand on a black child. So when the Department of Education issued its decree that Afrikaans was to become a language of instruction at school, it was into an already volatile situation. Students objected to being taught in the language of the oppressor. Many teachers themselves could not speak Afrikaans, but were now required to teach their subjects in it. In June of 1976, students from Orlando West Junior Primary School, also known as Pefeni, staged a classroom boycott. Tsietsi Mashinini, a 19-year-old student leader, had called for a mass demonstration against the use of Afrikaans. They were joined by students from 7 other Soweto schools. On the 16th of June 1976, students assembled at Orlando West Secondary School, where they had planned to pledge their solidarity, sing Nkosi Sikeleli Africa, and go back home. A police squad was sent in to form a line in front of the marchers. They ordered the crowd to disperse. When they refused to disperse, police dogs were released on the students and then tear gas was fired. Students responded by throwing stones and bottles at the police. Journalists later reported seeing a policeman draw his revolver and shoot without warning into the crowd. Anti-riot vehicles and members of the anti-urban terrorism unit were sent in. Army helicopters dropped tear gas on gatherings of students. Roadblocks were set up at all entrances to Soweto, and the battle between students and police continued into the night. The dawn of 17 June revealed burnt-out cars and trucks blocking the roads. Virtually every liquor store, beer hall, and community center burned to the ground, and dead bodies lying on the streets. The official death toll was 23. Others put it as high as 200. Many hundreds of people were injured. Students again poured into the streets. Parents stayed away from work to watch over their families. Students showed reckless disregard for their own safety to vent their frustrations. As soon as the upheavals were suppressed in one area, then they flared up everywhere else, and so it continued for the rest of 1976.
Watinda tina.
Mbuyisa Makubo is the 18-year-old South African schoolboy seen carrying Hector Peterson in a famous photograph taken after the latter was shot during the Soweto uprising in 1976. The new generation opposed to apartheid had made their voice of opposition heard and were determined to be listened to. Many left South Africa to join the armies of the exiled political movements. Those who stayed behind ensured the exiled organizations could count on support from within the townships. June the 16th would never be forgotten.